The Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service early this month revealed it is getting closer to rescuing the 3 kidnapped Takoradi girls. The Director General of the CID, COP Mamiya Tiwa Adodankwa, told reporters on 2nd April, "We know where the girls are," quote unquote. Now, she appealed to families of the victims to keep on keeping on. The families have been desperate for news of their daughters and their whereabouts since the first, Priscilla Bentum, was kidnapped in August 2018. 2 other girls were kidnapped in December before the story grabbed nationwide attention. JoyNews since then has launched and effectively used hashtag Bring Back OurTaadiGirls in a campaign to help find the girls. As we wait to hear the good news that the girls have finally been rescued, the Executive Director of Child Rights International, Bright Appiah, spent part of his Easter holidays visiting families of the missing Takoradi girls. He joins me via Skype. Good morning, sir. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
Why did you visit these families at this time?
Well, we did. We were not sure of the status of the family, and then the way and manner the police are also handling the case. So we thought that it would be important for us to visit the family to ascertain the situation and how best we can also assist in resolving this particular issue.
So what exactly did your discussion with these families focus on?
Well, we talked about 3 major things. First of all, to look at their condition and how they feel about the whole issue. Secondly, as to whether or not they are getting information from the police in relation to the missing girls. And then third, whether there has been some communication to them in respect to the statement that was made by the police in respect to they knowing the whereabouts of these children. So we discussed all these, and there are some information that are coming up. Initially, we thought that it's not as grievous as it is, but when we got to the family, we realized that if you don't put a lot of effort, things will remain as they are. Because one, there are conflicting information that gets to the family, and secondly, too, they are afraid that looking at how the prosecution process are going, they will not find their children, and thirdly, they live in uncertainty as to when and how they're going to receive their children. So these are things that for us, we thought that no, we should not take it for granted, because the family belongs to society, and the society is also interested in this particular case. And it's one of the cases that I would say that the whole community and the whole region is interested in, and there's a need for us to take the appropriate steps to address this issue once and for all, so that people do not take the law into their own hands. Because the family are considering certain steps that we thought would not be in the best interest of this country. Therefore, we need to come in, assist the family, and see how best we can address this issue. So we agreed on 3 major things that we want to do with them. Basically, to have engagement with the Ghana Police Service, at least for them to have access to information, and if they know the whereabouts of the children, then they should open the communication channel between them and the children. Then secondly, we also want to make our statement known to Parliament for them to also see how they can intervene. And if, as a result of that, we're not getting any intervention from them, we are proceeding to court on the basis of the statement that was made by the police. So we came to that agreement, and they have also thrown their weight behind Child Rights International so that we can pursue this case very well. So that is where we are now.
Ms. Appiah, you said that you discovered that the families of these girls were receiving conflicting information. What exactly do you mean when you say that?
Well, there was some communication that was made to them by the police, and for the purposes of what we're doing, it's been very difficult for me to put some out there. But what I can say is that it's not consistent. At a point, a different information goes with respect to the certainties of the children. At another point, to another information goes that do not give some level of certainty to whereabouts of the children. And then also some few issues that I wish I'll keep it private for the sake of the family. And we thought that, well, if the families are receiving all these informations and day in, day out, they live in fear, sometimes we build their confidence that the children are coming. Another time we would derail that confidence. Then it shows that we are really causing harm to the family and all that. So clearly, this is not something that we'd want to just allow it to go just like that. But we need to pursue it. But for the interest of the family, it will be difficult for me to put some of the issues out.
You also mentioned that they were considering taking some steps, if I heard you right, that you feel will not be in the interest of the country. What exactly at this point do they feel like doing to address their concerns?
Well, normally you will see a situation where when people want their voice to be heard, especially within the political domain, issues of demonstrations and taking actions and doing all kinds of things has always been the norm. But in terms of looking at what the case at stake, we do not believe that that approach will be okay. And moreover, we cannot have control over how they are going to mobilize it. And even if they want to do it, which is their constitutional right, all right, but we feel that the structures must be put in place for that to happen. So clearly, if they want to embark on that, we feel that that should be in a manner that will be consistent with the laws of this country. And the worst part of it is that because of the uncertainties surrounding the kind of information that they are getting, it put them in a certain situation that they feel that nobody cares about them. And if you are a human being and you get to that level, anything at all, you can think of anything that you want to do in respect to that. So some are also sensitive, which may not be appropriate for me to put on air. But the good news is that our presence there with them was an eye-opening, and the family are so happy that we came because in their view, a lot of people come there to sympathize with them, but not necessarily to assist them to find solution to the issue. But we come in to sit down with them to look at how best we can get the children on the basis of some information that have been made available to the public. They are so much confident that we'll be able to do it. So they have dropped anything that they want to do, and they want to follow the steps that we have agreed with them that we are going to take. So they are calm, they are collected, and there's one thing that we are all pursuing together, and that is to bring the girls back home.
Now, these families have time and again expressed disappointment in state agencies, especially the police. What did they tell you in specific terms what their concerns are, apart from this issue of conflicting information that they receive?
Well, the family, I can say on authority that do not have so much confidence in the police structure. And that is, for me, is a serious issue because we have no alternative than to always resort to the police intervention. So the police must consider that as an issue so that they can build that confidence within the public domain so that people can trust them. I personally believe that the police are up to task to do certain things for us. So we expect that they should do that. And then again, the man who was arrested, they expressed a lot of concern about that because this is a man who happens to live within that community, and they see him day in, day out, and they interact with him. So when they got to know that he was the one behind it, they were a bit alarmed. So the fear that the least suspicion that somebody is carrying out that activity in that community may lead to certain things that probably the nation will not be so much happy with because they can take the law into their own hands and do things because as it is now, they find it very difficult to trust the police, as I said earlier. Then they also express concern about the judicial process in relation to the man who was arrested. And that, for me, one of the issues that they raised in respect to that has to do with the fact that when he was rearrested, the prosecution processes did not concentrate on the substantive issue, but they were just looking at why did he run away, why is he back. So the family felt very sad that you are only concentrating on why did the person run away without discussing the issues for which really sad about it. Then one major issue that they also raised has to do with how the telcos also behave in respect to access to information, because one of the families, they were saying that the boy was calling them for a prize, and they arranged those monies and all that, and the number that they used to call them, they got the number, they went together with the police to the telcos to find out if they can get any information about it in order for the police to do the tracking. That also failed because they said that they are not in a position to do that, which of course I agree with them. But when they decided to go to court, it took them some time to even get the information. But as to the status of it, they don't know. So everything is not really certain as to whether or not the state is even interested in pursuing this particular case. So it's a bit, it's a serious issue, I must say. I wish you were there to have a first-hand information about the feeling of the family and how they've expressed their emotions in respect to this case. That is why we don't want to just let it go, but we'll pursue it with all the strength that we have, and how far we can go with this particular case.
Ms. Apia, in your Facebook post, you indicated that you stand with the family. I'm just wondering, at this point, have you contacted the police in any way, and are you willing to share some of these concerns, or have you shared these concerns that the family shared with you with the police?
Yeah, well, we returned over the weekend, and a few contacts that we've made, and some information that are also coming up, and we hope that formally, when we engage the police, we would make all those things known. But these are private conversations that we've had so far. So at appropriate time, we will make it known to the public.
So what are your hopes at this time? Hearing the family, knowing the kind of work that you may have to put into helping them. You've outlined some of them for us, including going to court if it's necessary. What are your hopes for these families in relation to finding or their daughters being rescued?
Well, I have the hope in terms of the support that the family want to give us, and to the extent that they even mentioned that even if we need financial support, they are in a position to do that, for which we told them that as organization who is interested in promoting the right of children will not take a penny from them. But they have expressed that. Then again, we have done a few contacts which we feel will help us to pursue this case. And we also have confidence in the court that when we appear before them, they will give us listening ears. So we will pursue it, and as and when, we will give you information.
Finally, before you go, this morning on the AM show, my colleague Kojo Yankson interviewed Chief Superintendent Kwesi Fori, and he did admit to this whole kidnapping issue being a new crime in the country. You work for an organization that has children as your focus, and we also know that for kidnappers, children, it's because of their vulnerability, are their focus. What more are you doing beyond helping these families whose daughters have gotten missing, to educate, to help deal with the problem in general?
Well, we've taken steps in the past, so I'm a bit surprised if we say that kidnapping is a new crime. For me, it is not, because the police also work with Interpol, and they know what happens in other countries and the signal that they give to potential countries, for which I know very well that Ghana has been warned several times in respect to this case, for which some NGOs even came in to do awareness on how to suspect kidnappers and all that. So for us, we are taking this further to look at all the things that we have to do, especially when it comes to the awareness raising in respect to this case. We have launched a program called the Say It campaign, and there's another one coming in respect to this particular kidnapping case, where we will be outlining some pointers that you need to watch out for, especially when you're having interaction with people that you don't know, and how we can engage children. And then again, how we can safeguard the workplace and then also our school environment for our children. Because in relation to kidnapping, children are very vulnerable and they can easily fall for it. So we are doing our best to ensure that we protect our children in respect to that.
Your time, Mr. Apia. But just on the issue of the kidnappings being a new crime, the chief superintendent was speaking in relation to a 61-year-old Lebanese and head of the Estonian head of mission of Estonia to Ghana, and they were speaking in regards to his kidnapping. He was rescued on the 22nd of April, and the police is on a manhunt for some 3 Nigerians. So it was within the context. But thank you so much for sharing your experience with us when you went to Takoradi. We will touch base, hopefully, when your plans to help this particular family progress.
Thank you.